Welcome to Tanakh Talk. I'm your host, William Hall, broadcasting live from Kingsland, Texas, USA, with another episode of The Wow, or The How and Wow of Hebrew, with Gavriel's Aryeh Sanders. Brother, it is such a pleasure to have you back in the studio as always. Thank you so much for coming here.
It is my honor. It is my pleasure. So,
and now,
you can't trail the music off that fast.
Now it is your duty. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, give me your handsome face on the screen there.
Music off that fast.
And now it is your duty.
Whoa. Oh, okay. Hey, look, you can hear me from here. No, this is me right here causing this to happen. So let me
good.
Just turn. Okay, now there we go. Fine. So,
that's
sorry,
cool.
I was turning it on even though we're on delay, so I can just kind of get an idea of what you look like on the small screen.
Very cool. Very cool. So
I've got usually, a different. When I'm operating with my classes, of course, I've been the Zoomer Rebbe for the last 5 weeks or so. Take Pesach out. And
that's
so,
funny.
In all of my classes, I use a 3-screen arrangement here. So I've got a laptop here, I've got a larger screen behind me, which is the image of the kotel that everybody's looking at there. It's an actually live image.
That's really cool.
And if you look carefully, you can see things flying around. You might think they're bugs.
I actually thought those were, at first I thought that was a glitch in the video, but it looks like they're birds or something. Those are huge. They're birds?
Those are birds, wow. And they have been there all day.
That's insane, wow.
So there, it happens to be that I was in Israel in January, as you know, and I was right in the middle of the screen there. You can see a little tuft of growth underneath a kind of whitish rock, and I was standing right there. It was a Shabbat afternoon, about 3:30 in the afternoon. Here I am talking to the Creator of the universe, and all of a sudden I feel plop.
No, you were anointed with the holy bird.
a little gift from above. Yeah,
that's
and
funny.
It was quite the experience. So every time I look at the kotel, which I do several times a day, all of my classes with my students, I open up with this. So this, it's 6 p.m. At this time that we're recording here in New York, and so add 6 plus 7. And you get 13, so that's really 1. Nice. So it's 1 o'clock in the morning as this view is a live view of the kotel right now. You can find this by going to Kotel Cam. This is the TORAH Kotel Cam. And if you look at your screen right now, in the lower center, you can see a guy walking there. So you can see that it's actually live. But I look at this a lot.
Oh, yeah,
I love it on Friday afternoons as we're getting ready for Shabbat. I like to listen to the birds, and I come sometimes see some people that earlier tonight there were a few people that gathered down there to do what we call daven ma'ariv, which means to pray the evening prayer, or arvit for those of us that use the more Eitot Mizrach pronunciation. And it's so many of us have our hopes and our dreams, and so there's this kind of motivational phrase I heard somebody said. I don't know if it was Joe Dispenza or one of those types of guys, Tony Robbins, that says that what you think about comes about. And so I like to think about Yerushalayim, and I like to think about the Kotel, and I like to think about the redemption, and I like to think about another building that will eventually be there over to the left of the wall area where you can see the Golden Dome. And so that's anyway, just a little slice of what I do kind of with my day.
Nice.
I really am excited to share this program with everybody. I just got to give one little anecdote, I guess. So Sunday nights, we have a small class of 8 or 9 people. We gather at 9 p.m. on Zoom, actually, and have the most delicious time together. That's a Tovia Singer word.
I was just fixing to say that sounds familiar.
Right. It's definitely a Tovia word. But it is a truly, truly delightful time. And so I got an email today from one of the students saying how much class was, how meaningful it was, and the method of delivery that we're using is so much fun because we're using some really ridiculous stories. But we all remember ridiculous stories from our past very well.
Right.
All right, the Cat in the Hat. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh. The childhood rhymes. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub. What's that about?
That's creepy.
So, I always wondered about those guys. So the using the similar type of thing, which allows us to repackaged and repurposed language and get a lot of multiple repetitions in from different contexts. That's really kind of, so we're coming at a story. Last night's story was about a smart redhead kid in Florida who's very intelligent, and he has this fantasy. He wants to have a penguin, but not just any penguin. He wants an albino penguin, So where are you going to get that? And he goes to Disney World, and he goes to SeaWorld, and they keep telling him to go someplace else. And he ends up in New Zealand. And they say, well, we had one, and now you got to go to Tierra del Fuego. Do you know where Tierra del Fuego is? It's the tip of Argentina and Chile. So he has to go there, and he sees a guy, and the guy has one for him. So he wants $1 million. So wow. The kid can't. He goes back to Florida, and all of a sudden he hears Boker Tov, and he wakes up. It was a dream. So silly little thing like that, which, and the students love it. It's got a little surprise ending. It's got some problems in it. So all the stories that I do, everything I do in terms of teaching Hebrew in a class setting, is pretty much built. We don't use grammar. Pops up once in a while. We say, oh, this is this and this is this, but we're not doing things that are ponderous. I call it the dentist drilling with no Novocaine method of learning language, which I have had that experience, by the way. I think I mentioned it once or twice before on the show. If you've never been to a dentist where he drills with no Novocaine, my dentist said to me, oh, this is really a shallow cavity. It takes 20 seconds. Give me 20 seconds. Longest 20 seconds of your life. Wow. And it was just abysmal, to go through that. Wow. So language teaching can be that way, because mostly language teachers are people that like to lift the hood and explain all the functions of the engine before you can go for a drive. Can you imagine if your Uber driver did that for you? Just before we go, I need to explain to you the details of carburation and exhaust. Oh boy! I gotta get to Manhattan, man. Well, you need to understand the way that the gas is filtered. I just need to get to Manhattan, man. Well, do you understand how pistons work? I just need to get to Manhattan, man. Right. And so for the language student, it's really like, I just need to know how to get a shawarma. I need to get to the bathroom. How do I get a falafel? How do I tell somebody I need help? Functional things, right? That's what we want to do. All the rest comes much, much later. So anyway, I have a very, very good YouTube referral I'm happy to send to anybody. If you just send me an email to Gavriel Sanders at gmail.com, Gavriel Sanders.
I will put that back up on the screen right now.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see it coming up over there right now. Thank you. I've ran across a wonderful video from a professor of Spanish, actually at Orange Coast Community College, which is located in Costa Mesa, California. OCC, as they call it, not OCD, right? OCC happens to be, I think, at least it was, it might still be, the largest two-year community college in the country. There's some very dynamic teachers there. I know one in particular I've known for many years. And so this Spanish professor from there he's put out a video about how to learn a language. He's working on his 7th language. And the 7th one is a tough one.
Wow.
He's working on Arabic, right? But he explains the backdrop to how you go about it and how you work with your brain's capacity to learn another language. No matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what age you are. If you work with the way the brain works, the brain will reward you with retention, comprehension, appreciation, those things you want. But if we expose the brain to methodologies that are contrary to the way the brain works, and you say, well, how does the brain work? I've been asking myself that question for many decades. If you expose your brain to things that work in learning a new language, then you got it. And see, well, how do I do that? Well, it goes back to how you learned your first language. And the number one thing, and this applies to all languages, whether we're talking about Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, no matter what it is, how complex or how easy it is. Afrikaans is a very easy language to learn. Dutch is not so bad. Forget Esperanto. It's a totally made-up thing. But we all learned through massive amounts of listening. We received thousands of hours of messages that were comprehensible to us and meaningful to us before we ever uttered a phrase. And that first phrase might have been a one-syllable expression like, wah! And mom said, oh, he wants water, right?
Right.
So, or then the kids get that really powerful, narcissistic 4-letter word, mine, right? Right, so they get that down, right? That's really important. So, because the world is all about them and their stuff. So, but that's how it works. You say, well, gee, that's not a lot of output.
Right.
But that's true. Input always precedes output, and input enables output. But it might be that there might be a big delay between the two, and that's okay. And with my students, especially students that are at what I'd maybe call a lower proficiency level, I'm not looking to see, teachers want to see answer with full answers. Nah, give me a ken, give me a lo, give me ulai, give me lo yodea, lo yodat, beseder. I'll take some 1 and 2 syllable things that show me. So there are a lot of other tricks that we use along the way. I'm just giving you a little background here. So as you can enjoy the view of this person walking over to the kotel there just after 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's about almost 1:15 in the morning, going over to the kotel to just pour out his heart before the living God. I think that's what he's probably doing. So speaking of the living God, I want to talk for a minute about Dead One. And that's a small G. In today's program, I want to quickly run through some words with you, but I want to put that on I'm going to flip that around. And there's a cause of concern. Okay. I'm looking at the reason I'm looking up like this and at the gaze is not because I don't want to look at the screen here. I've got 2 screens going on here. All right. This is from the newspaper called Haaretz. Haaretz publishes in English and Hebrew. It is one of Israel's most liberal leftist newspapers. And what came out today in the newspaper, you can see the date here, it's May the 4th, right. 2020, 9:30 p.m. over there. So it's very late in the day there. So there's a new media kid in town called the God Channel. Actually, they're calling it Shalanu, which is Hebrew for hour. And the, kind of the head of this channel, and some of you probably know more about the God TV than I do. I've been out of Christian media for a long time, but I took a dip into the world of God TV, and I wanted to go take a dip in the mikvah, the ritual bath, after watching some of this stuff. It was so disturbing to me. But what's happened is that the guys from God TV have secured a 7-year contract to broadcast Christian programming in Hebrew, including getting indigenous Messianic congregations, giving them a voice. They call them in this video underfunded Messianic congregations a voice. And so what seems to be a disconnect here is from indirect information I got coming back channel to me. It seems that they presented themselves or represented themselves as giving Christian education or trying to speak to Christian audiences, whatever, They didn't say they were coming to tell Jews they were lost and going to hell and they had to believe in JC as the Messiah. So right. I want to give you the viewers just 3 minutes and 10 seconds of what Ward Simpson is saying, and I appreciate you queuing that up. Yeah. And then I'm going to ask everybody to do just a little call to action here of how we can respond to something that I think is very, very serious. Okay. So here we go.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta pause this. I've got two audio sources playing. Hang on 1 second. And let me try that one more time. I've got two audio sources playing. I think I've got a video playing in the background because I just turned my thing up and I can hear myself talking. Hang on 1 second.
I can hear you talking also.
I think I just fixed it. Yep, I fixed it. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Thank you, Mr.
Fixer. Right here on God TV. If you've not already heard, God TV has been given the government permission to broadcast the gospel of Jesus Christ, Yeshua the Messiah, in Israel on cable television in the Hebrew language. Never before, as far as we know in the history of the world, has this ever been done. Permission has just been granted. God has supernaturally opened the door for us to take the gospel of Jesus into the homes and lives and hearts of his Jewish people. Praise God. The name of the channel is Shalanu TV. Shalanu TV. Shalanu is a Hebrew word for hours, O-U-R-S, hours. And what we're saying to the Jewish people is that Jesus is the Jewish Messiah. He's not a Gentile. He's not a foreigner. He's not a fake. He's not a phony. He's not an imposter. He is the Son of God. He is the Lamb of God that takes away the sin of the world. He is your Redeemer. He is your Messiah. Shalanu. He is ours. Will you join with us to make this a reality? Will you become part of history in the making? Will you sow a generous seed into God TV to make Shalano TV a reality in Israel? We've signed a 7-year contract. This is indeed breaking news. This is historic. It is supernatural, and it is prophetic. Friends, you know there are 9 million people in Israel that need to hear the gospel of Jesus. We take tours there. Many ministries go there. They love Israel. They bless Israel.
Did he just say we take Torahs there? Like they're short on Torahs?
No, tours.
Oh, tours. I was like, what is this? Okay. Glad you clarified.
Help. They give. They build hospitals. They help with humanitarian needs. They plant trees. But hardly any of them preach the gospel of Jesus to the Jewish people. Why? Because it is offensive. It is not favorable. Authorities don't like that. They're happy for you to come and be a blessing, but they don't want you to preach the gospel. But we know, you know, I know that Jesus Christ is the answer. Well, can you imagine? Now is the time, friends, where these Jewish people, these young men, these young women, these elderly people can be watching TV, they can be watching their app, they can be on their computers, and now for the first time ever, they can hear the gospel presented to them in their native tongue. Picture that. A young man, a young lady, helpless, hopeless, lost, confused, just like any other young person in the world. But now they have the opportunity to hear that Yeshua is here for them.
That's it.
Wow, this guy is like really out there.
I think that's pretty upfront, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, holy cow, man.
So this is, from what I understand, already operating as of last week, which, can you imagine? You got still, especially last week, you know, hundreds of thousands of Israelis sitting in their homes. And this is on the hot cable channel in Israel. And that serves about 700,000 homes. So if you happen to Google, you know, this under Haaretz, the author's name is Judy Maltz, and this came out today. It's coming out tonight, I guess our time, in Hebrew as well. And from what I understand, the Minister of Communication, the Israeli Minister of Communication, whose name is David Amsalam, here's his contact information. I'll tell you why I put it up here. He apparently didn't understand what all was here. You know, he thought it maybe was like Christians talking to Christians. But instead, it's Christians talking about Jews to become Christians. But, you know, as I said in a certain soundbite earlier today to somebody, the statement of faith between evangelicals, missionaries, and Messianic Jews, the statement of faith that's often published, is pretty much, it's essentially the same. So what we can say here is that evangelicals and Messianic Jews are essentially the same. So the Messianic Jew might choose to dress up in more Jewish garb. We see that often. But at the core level of where that person's really at in terms of their relationship with the deity, it's very much through a Christian lens. So this fellow by the name of David Amsalam, I'm going to ask our friends here on Tanakh Talk just to send him a nice note. Don't call him, but just send him a note of concern. Word it sensitively and graciously. And simply ask him to look further into this. I believe he was blindsided. He doesn't know what he's dealing with, and he didn't have the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Not that the Christians were trying to be deceptive, right? We would never accuse them of being deceptive. We might say that they were being selective in terms of, not deceptive, but selective in their presentation. Mm-hmm. So you can write to him at davidam@knesset.gov.il. And just ask him to look further into it. That you heard about this, you saw the article, you know, in the newspaper, the English edition of Haaretz here. Okay, you can see the word here of Haaretz, like when Hashem made, you know, at Shamayim et Haaretz. So you can see how it's spelled there. Okay, Haaretz, and that based on that article, you are very concerned that there is a very blatant agenda to missionize, proselytize, use those words, Jewish people, using a Jewish, cable station in order to bring that about. And that, would he please take a deeper look? I'm involved with some other people, again, behind the scenes. I won't talk about it because it's sensitive, to get this into the Hebrew press further and to bring it to the attention of people that really can do something about it. But we need kind of some support here. So even if it doesn't have to be a lot. It could be 5 emails. It could be 10 emails. And if you're watching this particular edition of Tanakh Talk and it's 2 weeks or 2 months down the road, please just ignore this part, but at least you've been informed of something that was happening. Because Ratz Hashem, with the help of Shemayim, this should be a rallying cry for the Jewish people. The only reason this could happen, by the way, I've said for many years, the only reason missionaries are strong is because Jews are weak. And when Jews are strong, missionaries are weak. Very simple kind of mathematics involved here.
I've been saying for a long time, I hear all these different stories from, like, there's a really, really, I want to say dynamic, but I don't mean that in a good way, of this guy, Motel Ballaston, right? And he claims to have been raised in a religious Jewish home, but it turns out that's not true at all. But he dresses like a Jew. He's got the talit katan underneath the shirt and all this other stuff. And he goes on and on and on, and trying to prove to people how Jewish he actually was at birth, but he was never really raised in a Jewish home. So it is those people who are uneducated in Tanakh. Those are the ones who are falling prey to the New Testament. The ones that I know who have studied Tanakh, like you're talking about, and have got some, even the rudimentary, the elementary basics of the prophets, they see right through Christianity. So they're just...
Well, Jewish education has always been an effective sort of vaccination, if you will. And it says very clearly in the Ethics of the Fathers, Pirkei Avot, it says that a person should know what to answer to an apikoros. An apikoros is considered someone who's like a heretic or whatever. And, the thing about all this is that, the Messianics really do believe what they believe. It's not like they drank some Kool-Aid and got indoctrinated and said, okay, I know I'm working for a cult and let's go. It's not that at all. I mean, having been in the whole Christian milieu for 20 plus years of my life, and now, flip side of that, it's been over 20 years inside, living under a kippah. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to people's attention because I felt it was a what we call in Hebrew an inyan de yoma. It's an issue of the day that needed to be brought out, and I know we have good friends here that could send that note off, and away we go. So we'll move past that. Very good. Okay, so I want to mark the time. What's the time marker here, by the way?
So we are at 23:10. 23 minutes, 10 seconds. So we get just enough time for your 50 powerful words to go.
So this is so much fun. I was doing it in my class last night. I've done this with my students at school. One of the things about adult learners, by the way, is in learning a second language, they do not want to pass again through the shallow waters of see, spot, run. Right? That's just like so intellectually insulting. And they want to feel like they know something and they can say something, at least even if they don't say it, at least they can understand. So among other, I don't know if you want to call it tricks, let's call it strategies perhaps, that I've embraced is the use of something called cognates. And a cognate is a word in one language that shows up in a similar, same or similar form, a derivative form in another language. And we talked last time about that, how you see Spanish especially. Spanish and English share about 40% overlap when it comes to cognates. So Hebrew, less than that, but there are literally hundreds of English-flavored words that exist in the Hebrew language. And by getting a hold of some of those, you can really talk about things in an interesting way. And so we're going to do that here. You can't hear. Anybody who wants this link, by the way, to this Quizlet, which I built, it has English both in written and audio on one side, and Hebrew in audio and Hebrew on the other side, like here. So if I press up here and I press the button, I can hear what it's saying, but you can't hear what it's saying. But if you want this, then you will have a tool that enables you to both hear and read at the same time. So have you been able to, and just when you see two words appear on the screen, just focus on the first word here. I want to move through these fairly quickly. Have you figured out the first word on the screen here?
Microscopic.
Yeah.
I just glanced at it. There you go. Nice. Now, that's not how it reads, but I just realized that's what you were saying, though.
Microscopic.
Yeah. I mean, it reads slightly different.
Here's something you need around the house.
Pirgama. What?
Okay.
Pirgaima?
Remember that this is not a yud.
Oh, right. Pirga. What's the sound that it makes after the gimel?
The letter J.
Huh?
There is no letter J sound in Hebrew.
Right.
So how would you represent in orthography and writing the letter J? That little thing that looks like an apostrophe, because it is we call it in Hebrew a chupchik. It's a funny word. There are 3 letters in Hebrew that take a chupchik, so that you can bring in what's known as a phoneme, a sound, a discrete sound, and this is J. So we have instead of 3 letters, we have J, J, and Ch.
Okay.
CH, and this is J. So what's the word?
Pijama. I don't know what that means.
Put the emphasis on the middle syllable.
Pijama. Oh, nice pajamas. Very cool.
Pajama. There you go.
That's legit.
You're
cool.
Such a great student. I love having you in part of this. Yes, pajama. Okay?
That's awesome.
This is like a genre of film or literature.
Right. So, parodia.
Parodia.
Parody, I guess.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Fantastic. Amazing.
Nice. Okay.
This is an attitudinal word.
Pessimi.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean? Pessimistic? No.
Can.
Oh, okay. Oh, bueno. I said bueno.
I know. I heard that. Okay. See, pessimistic.
How funny.
So I could say, Dani lo sameach. Who pessimi.
Nice.
Pessimi.
Very nice.
He's not happy. He's pessimistic. Okay. By the way, the opposite of that word is optimi. Okay. So.
Got it.
This one is a little tough to get. This is not about carbonated beverages.
I'm thinking it's more like about pizza, but it's actually a fizzy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fizzy. I got you. You gave me a little play on words. It's fizzy.
It's fizzy. Yeah, it's fizzy.
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 It's almost French.
If you know the word ruchani, this is the opposite of the word ruchani from the word ruach, but you wouldn't necessarily know that. And so fizzy is, let's move on past that. Thank you.
That's funny.
Forget that.
Nice.
Physical.
I'm going to zoom in for the people so they can see better. Here we go. That's better.
Fine. That's fine. Bring that up.
Okay, so foema.
Actually,
Foema.
notice the dot in the first letter.
Foema? No, it's a pay. Yeah, that's right. No, it's a pay.
It's a pay.
Poema.
Mm-hmm.
Poem?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool.
Poema.
And these are all legitimate Hebrew words.
Yeah, absolutely. These are.
Wow.
I didn't make them up.
Very cool.
And
Very cool.
They are sprinkled throughout the Hebrew lexicon.
Nice.
There's a lot more. We haven't even gotten into slang really. Just a little. I think last time we said chance. Those if you say in Hebrew, yes chance, ein chance. So they use that word. So now, not similar to the one we just did. There's an adjective form of it.
Poetic, like poetic.
Poetic, yeah.
Right,
Poetic. Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, ze mo'od poeti. It's very
poetic.
poetic.
It's very nice.
And then flipping over to, what's happened with the coronavirus.
Politics, right. Politi.
Yeah, this is political.
Right,
okay?
gotcha.
And here's the noun form.
Nice.
Politica, okay. Premium. Just like what it sounds.
That's right.
Premium.
Right. Very nice.
Okay. Very common word in many, many languages. Professor. And radio.
Oh, nice. Radio. Very good.
Radio. Okay. אני שומע radio.
Right. Very good.
Reality.
Oh, very good one. Nice.
Okay. Reality. Sometimes they talk about reality show. החיים שלך ממש reality show. Your life is a reality show,
Right.
Rendezvous.
Ah, nice. Yeah, rendezvous. Very cool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rendezvous. Relevanti. Relevantit. זה רלוונטי או זה לא רלוונטי? Is it or not?
Right.
Sandal. Sandalim.
Depends on where you wear them.
It does depend on where you wear them. That's absolutely right. Now, this is another chupchik, and it's in the wrong place.
Okay, so
if I were to change it. Okay, so when I come over here and I do this and I show both words on the screen, It's somehow, for some oddball reason,
Oh, at the very end.
excuse me, it puts the chupchik in the right place. So we have the word sandwich.
Oh yeah. So hold on one second. Sandwich. Why the double vav? One.
Because the double vav, usually when you see a vav, it's either going to be an O or a U. The vav there's three options with a vav. Actually,
Okay.
four options with a vav.
Oh, hold on.
Vav by itself can just be v.
I just realized that people can't see this because I zoomed in on one portion of the screen. I'm going to fix that. Y'all sit tight, and you will understand what we're talking about right there. Okay, now go ahead, Rabbi. Gavriel.
Okay,
Yes,
very good. So vav can be standalone v when it stands, but most of the time vav is often used. It's one of the high frequency letters that functions as a vowel letter.
Okay.
Vav does that. Hey does that. Yud does that. So oftentimes you're going to see a vav with a dot over the top, which is called a cholam vav, is an O.
Right.
Or it's got a little dot here in the middle, like somebody threw a ball at the guy's stomach,
Sharuk.
which is an ooh sound.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody hit you in the stomach with a hard ball, it'd be like ooh,
Right.
and that's the sound of it. So it makes a sound ooh. So we use it in Hebrew. I didn't invent it. It's been a convention around for many years. We use double V to represent v, and it also often corresponds to what we would see as a W in English, comes out as a double V in Hebrew. So sandwich.
Ah, that explains why a friend of mine had, told me how to respell my name William with two vowels.
Right, William, exactly
William,
right.
Very good. And that dot, the chirik at the bottom, it made the E sound like feet. So it's like at the bottom where your feet belong. Okay, good. Anyway, but a lot of the vowels are there, so that doesn't really work all across the board.
Okay, that's a wonderful circumlocution. Zegam satira, zegam genre of literature or film, satira.
Interesting. Okay, satire.
Satire.
Oh, yeah, got it. Okay.
Everybody will get this one. Anybody that can read Hebrew has got this one. Very simple.
Selfie.
Ken.
Yeah.
Selfie. Nachon.
Very good.
Simulacja.
Simultaneous, maybe? Simulation. Oh, yeah. That was much better.
Simulacja.
Gotcha. Okay.
There is a word, by the way. I've heard the word simultane
Okay.
for simultaneous. Simultane. This is simulacja. There shouldn't be a dot inside of the samach.
That looks
there.
like
I'm not sure how.
looks like a double dot, like a tseri.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Should be underneath?
So I have to go back and take it out. No, it should be. No, it should. See here. Remember I talked about the vav that gets the stomach hit in the middle. That's what this is. So this is ooh.
So susi.
And so by the way, this
Like
should
Susie.
be. I see another.
It's like a
it
name.
should be Susie. Yeah, this dot shouldn't be a sin. It should be a shin. So
Oh,
I committed the
sushi.
sin of not making the shin. All right. So,
And for the elementary guys out there, just remember the sin is never right. It's always left. It's always wrong. It's never right. So
that's very good.
Yeah.
I like the way you did that.
Cool.
You should teach Hebrew, William. That's amazing. So it should be sushi. And here we did in front of thousands of people make a big error here. And so I'm sorry. Sometimes I do these late at night and I shouldn't.
that is okay.
Here's another
Okay.
double vav.
Okay.
So you
Swedek.
see the double vav and you realize that in English it would be a W.
Right. So Swedek. No, Sweder. Oh, wait. Why did I confuse that with the cough? It's not a cough.
I'll pronounce it Svreder.
Sveder. Okay. Okay. Sveder.
So what is it?
Sweater.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely. You got
Very
it. You
good,
nailed
very
it.
good.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Okay, just focus on the first word.
Okay.
Sympathy.
Sympathy.
Sympathetic.
Sympathy. I got you. Right,
Yes.
Got it.
Sympathy is sympatia.
Cool. Okay. Technology. Technology.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, so oftentimes the yud hey on the end of a word will correspond with, in English, what we have is like this here.
Gotcha.
Okay, that part. Okay, the
Okay.
Y there.
Okay.
Television.
Oh, nice.
Now, in this case, it's not a W.
Oh, yeah. So television.
But otherwise, if it was, see the reason this.
Now, shouldn't there be a
this kind of-
Shiva underneath the second vav, though?
Probably, who knows?
Oh, okay.
I did this I have a program that does this for me to speed it up. And oftentimes with words that are cognates, you run into, it doesn't always fit the strict convention
What
of
is a
pointing.
cognate? I'm sorry, I'm not that.
A cognate is a word in one language that appears in another language.
Okay, got it.
Like this. This word is a cognate. This
Okay.
is an English cognate, television.
Very nice.
That exists in Hebrew. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm sorry to use the grammar language there, but
You're
that's
good.
what it is. So
You're good.
Television. And again, because most of the time, when I read Hebrew, most of the Hebrew I read is without vowel points.
Right.
And so a person who wasn't familiar with this could think maybe if it only had one vav, they might think it means something like telosia, or telusia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to lose you.
Would this be a really good time to throw in your penguin?
The story?
The whole thing with the albino?
Actually, it would be a good point.
Yes,
because,
please do.
Let me. I'm just going to come over here and I'm just going to grab that little piece of the story.
Nice.
Because it's right here. So, we were working today and last night. We were working on this little story that we tell about this kid that has a problem. That's what this says here. Penguin lo normal. He wants a penguin that's not normal. He wants a penguin lo normali lo ragil. This is the word regular. Ragil. Normali ragil. So you can see just in this sentence alone how I'm weaving in cognates as natural flowing language. Okay.
Nice.
A lot of people don't do this. Okay. And with Hebrew teaching anyway, don't do it. I do because I've been trained by people who teach other world languages that use this extensively.
Okay.
And so then we said about this guy that hu rotze, actually that should be a sigil right there. This should be like this. It's my little dotting program that I didn't edit. Hu rotze penguin albino. And here is a penguin albino. Okay. They actually exist. Albino penguins. They're extremely rare.
Wow.
So, but if you notice here, let's take the vowels out of this word. What are the vowels here? Well, with the ah sound is one. Take the ah out. Take the yud out, because this is e. And take the o out. That's o. And you're left with the letters lamed, beit, nun. And really, for it to look properly, we should represent it as, sorry, this is some stuff for one of my classes. We always start out with a simple little prayer. And so I'll just come down here and do this. We'll go lamed, beit, nun, or better spelled lamed, beit, and then a nun sofit, the final, the one that goes a little longer down the line.
Right.
Okay, so what does that word mean in Hebrew?
Blanco.
Blanco, sí. Qué bueno.
That's funny.
Abyad in Arabic, it's white. Okay, so it's interesting that the letters, the consonants basically of the Hebrew word lavan or laban. In fact, there's something that we eat that's have you ever heard of something called leaven?
Oh, bread or leaven. I mean, no, leavening.
No, that's leaven.
Oh, sorry, leaven.
But leaven, which is a type of yogurt, is something that's consumed in Israel.
Oh, interesting.
It's called leaven.
Gotcha.
And it's based on the word white. Okay,
so
so we see that with this word albino, what we're seeing here is the evidence of what I like to think of as the Proto-Hebrew, that was really the original language, and you find little traces of it. And I have a book over here that has 20,000 different evidences of Hebrew being the mother language or the father language, whichever way you want to talk, not some Indo-European thing. So, anyway, that was kind of fun.
That was cool.
You know this word.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Texat. What? Texat.
It's. I know. I know where you live. It's not Texas.
Okay, so tick, and then
It's one syllable.
Text. Oh my goodness gracious! What's really funny is it reads that way, but my brain was fighting it though because it's like text. Yes, no kidding. That's cool. Wow, how about that?
And in Hebrew, often you want to find this kind of flow of syllabification. The one syllable is another syllable, but when it comes to these cognate words, there's often a lot of collapsing down of sounds. Okay, what's called juncture in Hebrew, in English, but who cares about that? But here's text. Okay,
that's funny. Right.
This is another genre term.
Marguerite.
We've had satira, we've had parodia. Here is tragedia.
Oh,
tragedia. It's a mamash tragedia.
Tragedy, yeah. Wow, tragedia. Okay.
Now you never get you might figure out how to pronounce this word, but as to what it means, it's not what we would use at all.
So treninj.
Now notice you get a yud, nun, and gimel here, right?
Nin.
Which corresponds to an English word.
Oh,
Transliterated.
like ing, like
Yes,
fishing.
yes. So ing, ning.
So training, like commuting?
Training, okay. Yes, training. But training doesn't mean like sports.
Teaching. Oh, it doesn't mean teaching someone.
It means
to travel. Oh, it does work. Oh, sports clothing. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, word.
So ainli training. So if I wanted to say that I don't have sport workout clothes, I would say ainli training. Training chadash. Yeah, I have new training clothes.
Gotcha.
So that's this came out like in the 80s when those things people started wearing them as go to work in your training. So this is what nobody wants. Some people work in this area in a hospital.
Trauma.
Oh, trauma.
See, hey, now question. Okay, trauma in this spelling and teruma. I'm sorry, but there's like a weird psychological connection there.
Trauma. That's certainly going to be a trauma if you don't give truma.
Right, there you go. Right.
That's
like
very interesting. There's some sounds that are kind of accidental.
Right.
I build a lot of memory words using sounds in English that show up the same sound in Hebrew, but there's no correspondence between them.
Okay.
So like the word ear in English,
right,
and the word ear in Hebrew. Ear in Hebrew is what?
City, right.
And ear in English is ear. Okay, so when I say there's a city in the shape of an ear, or there's a city in my ear, which is true because everybody has bacteria. Okay, so
that's funny.
Traumatic. Okay. University.
University, nice.
Okay. Virtual. Okay, so we're moving right along toward the end here. This is one of my favorite ones.
Vaviva. No, I'm just kidding. We? No, wait. That's a double vav. So, okay, now that's really confusing. Vavyi? Help me out here. Wi-Fi. Oh, okay, hold on. The go back one. Let me look at it and see. No, yep, right there. Hold on. Wow. Oh, both words. Okay. I was reading it as one word because a lot of them have the same word with different tenses. I didn't even look at the last one. That might have helped me out.
This is a personality issue.
Compulsive.
Compulsive.
Wow.
מה אתה compulsive? מה הבעיה שלך?
Right. Perspective, yeah.
Okay, perspective.
Very nice.
Perspective.
Very nice.
Obsessive, another personality word, right?
Yeah.
Obsessive, right? Obsessive.
It's called psycho. Just kidding.
Perfectionist. I have students that are this way.
Very nice.
Mamash perfectionist. Okay?
OCD.
Okay, machane is not a word that you'd necessarily figure out because the ch sound doesn't exist in the English word that it corresponds to.
And it's not mechanic?
But, you're very close.
Okay.
It's the adjective form. A mechanic is the noun, okay, the thing.
Oh.
And this is the adjective, which is mechanical.
Oh, nice. Okay, got it.
A mechanic is a mechanai.
Okay, got it.
With an aleph and a yod on the end of it. But
okay,
a subject that some people hate in school. We have a good friend and helper
biology
of Tanakh Talk, who is one of my wonderful students, who is a teacher of biologia.
Nice.
Okay.
Yep.
Geografia.
Geography.
Geography.
Nice.
Okay. Chemia. This is very strange, by the way, that this word, usually this letter at the beginning of a word.
Is that chemistry?
Yes, exactly what it is. Chemia.
Actually, if we weren't on topic, though, I would not have guessed that, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's clustered among some other subject terms.
Right.
But this is chemia.
That's
Whoops.
Good. You
Philosophia.
Nice.
Philosophia.
Nice.
And if I take away the hey on the end here and drop a little dot over here under the fe, philosophy, that would be philosophical. Okay.
Interesting.
So it's nice in Hebrew the way it works. Yeah. A lot of these. Okay. Humor.
Humor.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not a class. It's a state of mind.
Humor. Humor.
Yeah.
Not humor, but humor. Caloriot. Oh, this is a big problem during this coronavirus thing. Everybody's having trouble with caloriot.
Oh, calories. Right.
Caloriot.
And just to be clear, the 10 pounds that camera is usually gain to you, mine is actually really 10 pounds.
That's very funny. Well, listen, our objective in life, and we're certainly praying for Mashiach to come so that we can all live together in
harmony.
Harmonia.
Nice.
Harmonia.
Very nice. Very nice.
זה העולם המודרני. כן, העולם המודרני, the modern world. מודרני.
Nice. Digitally.
דיגיטלי, כן,
Nice.
דיגיטלי, כן.
Nice.
Digital. אנחנו גרים בעולם דיגיטלי. We're living in a digital world.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
this is a tough one.
Okay, wait.
Once you see it, you go, oh, there, I get it. But the first glance, this word will throw you. Hypotheti. Because heap is usually this would correspond to a Y.
Okay.
So if you're transliterating, think HYPO.
Hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good Scrabble word. Easy one. Populari. Okay.
Popularity.
Bibi.
It's very
Netanyahu. Me'od populari.
very, very popular. Yeah. Very good.
Populari. Yeah, we're almost done. Here it is.
Nice.
Eleganti.
Elegant.
Eleganti. Okay, so there's 50 more words that you can add to your Hebrew vocabulary coming right out of English pretty much that you can sprinkle in to add a little bit more
Nice.
spice and flavor to your Hebrew conversation. There are hundreds of these particular words. There is actually, most of these words, for example, we just did the word populari. There's a Hebrew word for this, amami, with an ayin and two mems and a yud, amami. And it comes from the word am, which means people, right? So amami is something that's popular amongst the people. So they have the word. And oftentimes those words find themselves more in literature or whatever. But at the street level of speech, everyday speech, people use the word populari.
Nice.
So in a sense, when you're learning Hebrew, there's really like 3 different tracks to work with. There's the street language. There's the more refined, let's say, literature of the Hebrew of the newspapers and more formal communications. And by the way, those are loaded oftentimes with lots of abbreviations. Hebrew uses tons of abbreviations. We've looked at that issue before.
Nice.
And then there's the language of Tanakh and rabbinic literature and so forth, which has also its own curious thing to it. Like a language of Tanakh, there are many verbs that are represented in they look like they're future, but they're really past, because those known as the vav haipuch. There's a vav that causes a tense change. If it's written in the future, but it's really past, or it's written in the past and it's really future. Why it's that way? I haven't figured that one out yet. When I get to the Beit Din Shalmala, the Hebrews, the Jewish study hall up in Shemayim, I'll be sure to ask that question, because I've really always wanted to know. Anyway, 50 more words. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you, William, for hosting.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make a real quick plug here to say to everybody, most of us here came out of churches or some kind of place that was a community of faith, and we supported that community of faith. Here we have a digitali, right, community of faith, and it's, for some people it's a bit virtuali, but it's reality. So I want to ask everyone who's watching that if you can just do something a little bit with consistency. So if you can help support the work of this, it doesn't come to me. William has invested a ton of his personal assets in bringing the technology to bear that we can connect this way and talk about the things that we do here at Tanakh Talk. He didn't ask me to make this plug. He never does. And it might be a little uncomfortable, but as one of the content contributors to the programming here, I want to ask you to be helpful. And so quite honestly, if 1,000 people are giving $5 a month, you see where the math goes, and it would be wisely, judiciously used to expand the work of this very important channel. So, and thank you for your support. Thank you for your fellowship. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for being part of something that's bigger than ourselves and that we believe is going to galvanize and provide support for people that are asking questions, that are coming out of the church, wondering what to do, who do I turn to, how do I connect with anybody who knows what it feels like to go through this. I've been there, William's been there, we got hundreds, hundreds of people here that have gone through this process, some lower than others on the way out. It was like fell out of the church, right, into snorkeling in the septic tank or whatever. Some people have gone there, and others who just kind of gently come out and said, okay, now, God, where do you want me to go from here? Some have converted to Judaism or are in the process of doing that, but you don't have to. If you go to aish.com, AISH.com, and there's a tab at the top there in the nav bar that says non-Jews, and you can read there some of the information they have. Very good advice there. I was looking at that earlier today. So anyway, we're just here. We're here to help.
Yeah,
we're here to be friends. We're here to serve God in whatever capacity we can, whether it's 7 mitzvahs, 7 connecting points, which are really a lot more underneath all that, or it's a 613 that we're learning and living and loving to do. Then whatever our assignment is, that's our assignment. So this is Gavriel Aryeh Sanders, your Hebrew language guide for this periodic magazine that we call the How and Wow of Hebrew, or as William calls it, the Wow and How and Wow and How and a How Now Brown Cow of Hebrew. So.
Exactly. That's funny. It is so good. It is so good. Gavriel, thank you so much. You're awesome. You're a great friend, and you're an amazing teacher. And I just found out tonight that you know 4 languages. I'm working on 1 plus 2 halves, half Spanish, half Hebrew, as you could tell tonight with my my Spanish plug at the whatever. I don't remember what my response was, but
you said bueno.
Bueno.
Which is a lot better than saying guano.
That's very true, especially right now in the midst of this. Never mind, we won't even go there. That's okay. Thank you, Gavriel.
I had an experience of guano at the Kotel. I talked about that at the head of the show.
Wow.
So,
I got you.
So hamivin yavin, as we say in Hebrew, hamivin yavin. The one who understands will understand.
Indeed.
But just remember, you also speak Southern. All right. So that's
true,
the wonderful language has 2 rules. Every one syllable is 2, and you don't say it, you sing it. Dog.
That's so true. Gavriel Aryeh Sanders, I thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. And we're looking forward to see you same time, same place next week, Hashem willing. And so farewell, my friend. And for all you viewers out there, thank you so much once again for tuning in. And as Gavriel mentioned, there's a quick link actually underneath this video. If you look at the video description area, it's actually labeled Buy Me a Coffee. And you can go in there and click that link, and actually it'll take you to a place where you can buy me a coffee. It's actually, it's a cyber coffee, so I don't drink it. It's actually, $5 a cup or whatever you call it. So, but that would be great. And then also on your screen right now, some great counter missionary work. If you've not seen it yet, Rabbi Tovia Singer's Outreach at outreachjudaism.org. You can find his 2-volume book set. Their CDs pictured there, but they're no longer available. The audio files are, however, just click the free audio tab at the top of his website, and you will be able to download those for free. Although he is definitely, like anybody else, any extra finances he can get will help him to continue to teach. So you can download all of these files for a donation of any amount and get them all on one single device. You can listen to them at your free will whenever. And so Judaism and Christianity at Contrast, up on the top left by Rabbi Stuart Federow, whatjewsbelieve.org. You can buy it direct there or go to Amazon. The other 2 books are on Amazon, Leaving Jesus by James Wood Jr. and Revealing Matthew's Secrets by Jason Lacrosse, good friend of mine. It's all really, really great stuff. So guys, definitely encourage you guys to look into their work and to support everything that's going on. And also follow, send Gavriel Aryeh Sanders an email, GavrielSanders@gmail.com. And if you have any questions or just some insight, or you want to actually sign up for one of his classes, he actually teaches private Hebrew classes that are amazing. And you can get with him on that, and he will hook you up. So until next week, guys, we will see you later. Peace.
אני אתה אתם תמיד תמיד כולם ביחד חשוב מכל חשוב והכרחי להיות ביחד איפוק זו העוצמה ויתור זו הגדולה השאיפה והכמיהה אני אתה אתם תמיד תמיד כולם ביחד חשוב מכל חשוב והכרחי להיות ביחד